right hand in glove. Spread the peace, joy on the pure side. Together we shine in each other's light. And we stand in love's pure light. Watching the world in love and light. Hearts beating in our peaceful flight. Colors harmony, painting the night. And we stand in love's pure light.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Watching the World. We have a pretty interesting show for noon as some breaking news has came out in regards to Hunter Biden and Melania Trump. But before we get started, we have quite a few people in the room. We have Mashona. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. We also have Eric and so many more. So thank you guys for tuning in. As yesterday, we had quite a big show for lunch, and last night there was so much support. It's so outstanding. Now, in the media, there's two big stories that's floating around. One in regards to Melania and Hunter Biden, but there's another one that we're going to touch on if we have time. In regards to truck drivers that are being assaulted or going missing, it seems to be a big problem that's happening in the South. In fact, my brother is a truck driver, so this is a great concern. So we're going to take a look at that too. But first, we're going to get started with this whole subject to find out what's happening with Melania and Hunter Biden. Did Hunter Biden apologize? Because I guess he revealed some information. You know, we have this big Epstein saga, and rumor on the street says that Hunter was trying to tie Melania Trump to Epstein. And I think that's how this story took on a lot of waves, a lot of steam, folks. So what's really happening? We're going to get to it today. Hunter Biden actually sat down for an interview that has taken the internet by storm. So let's have at it. Let's get to it, folks.
In my hand is a legal demand letter addressed to Mr. Hunter Biden from the First Lady of the United States, demanding a retraction of Channel 5's video called Hunter Biden Returns, in which Mr. Biden here makes some speculative comments about the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, Melania Trump, and Donald Trump.
Okay, well, they knew each other well. They spent an enormous time together. According to his biographer, is that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Melania. That's how.
So as you know, we cover this subject quite frankly just about every day or so. And we've showed actually on this channel how there's been so many videos and pictures of these individuals together. So we could say that this claim is pretty accurate.
Melania and the First Lady and the president met.
Really?
Yeah.
Epstein made the intro.
Yeah, according to Michael Wolff.
Yeah.
And so I only can go by what people are saying, and I don't know.
He didn't make these claims out of nowhere. They come from another journalist named Michael Wolff, who is a biographer that actually spoke to Jeffrey Epstein. But now here we are. And I've got $1 billion document in my hands because Mrs. Trump is seeking $1 billion in damages if we don't take the video down, and if Hunter here doesn't issue a formal apology to Mrs. Trump. So now we're here.
All right, so Hunter Biden will have to cough up $1 billion if he doesn't apologize. Will he apologize? We're going to get to it. We're going to see right now.
Maybe to give you the platform to apologize to the First Lady for your statements that you made about her possible connection to Jeffrey Epstein.
Fuck that. That's not going to happen.
Fuck Black, fuck Quack, fuck Eddie, fuck Fab, fuck Lowe's, fuck Sada, fuck Spaz, fuck O'Delly, fuck Jay, fuck Sutter, fuck Smack, fuck the North. If the Mozzie niggas tripping, fuck Fab, fuck Threes, fuck the...
Well, first of all,
Well, I guess it's safe to say that Hunter Biden will not be apologizing.
is that what I said was what I have heard and seen reported and written. Primarily from Michael Wolff, but also dating back all the way to 2019, when the New York Times, I think Annie Carney and Maggie Haberman reported that sources said that Jeffrey Epstein claimed to be the person to introduce Donald Trump to Melania at that time. And then it was, I think, excerpted in a book.
So I've been hearing this rumor, so now I get a chance to see where it's actually stemming from, in essence, allegedly.
that was published in Vanity Fair, and I think it's been repeated by journalists and authors since then. But the primary source was the interviews that Michael Wolff has been conducting, in which he.
All right, so let me ask you guys, do you think this has something to do as to why the files are not coming out? Could it be more than just Donald Trump? Could it involve the First Lady?
Has actually tapes of, I think, hours and hours and hours of interviews with Jeffrey Epstein directly. So, fact of the matter is that, I don't think that these threats of a lawsuit are add up to anything other than a design distraction, because it's not about who introduced whom to who. I don't know how that's in any way rises to the level of defamation to begin with, but the fact of the matter is that this is about hundreds, if not over thousands.
So, guys, just so you know, I have a body language expert. Her name is Blanca Cobb. She was on the show earlier this week. Next week, she's coming back on, I believe, on Tuesday. So I'll make sure I show her this video, because if you notice, he has his leg crossed. She went over that. And also, he's twiddling his fingers. So I'm going to show this to her so you guys can have some added insight into Hunter Biden.
Minors, children who were raped by Jeffrey Epstein. And I don't believe in guilt by association alone, but the connections have become they're so glaringly obvious that I think they're trying to use other things to distract. And I also think they're bullies, and they think that $1 billion is going to scare me, which is the fact of the matter is that if they.
Can you imagine trying to settle $1 billion? How much you would have to pay? You're still paying an astronomical number indeed. Let's look at the chat real quick, get a few comments. Mashona says, welcome in and thank you for joining the conversation. Did you remember to hit the like button on your way in? Please like, share, and subscribe and support the channel. Thank you so much for those reminders, Mashona. We appreciate it. Oh, we have Angela in the building as well. We have Bordeaux. And again, Mashona, thank you for all you do. Everybody's admonishing ones to hit the like button. All right. Thank you very much. Marky Mark is in the building. Good afternoon to you, Marky Mark. Thanks for your continued support. It seems that you have been at every show. Yesterday, we were pounding the pavement hard. It's good to see so many familiar names.
They'd like to go. I have this to say to them. If they want to sit down for a deposition and clarify the nature of the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein, if the president and the first lady want to do that, and all of the known associates around them at the time of whatever time that they met, I'm more than happy to provide them the platform to be able to do it.
So if you countersue, they'd have to sit for deposition.
No, not if I countersue. If they sue me, they would have to sit for a deposition, almost certainly.
So Hunter Biden is playing hardball. He's saying, bring it on, sue me, because I would love to have you guys sit down and be deposed and have to tell the truth. That's a hell of a strategy, folks.
Certainly the first lady would have to sit for deposition. And most likely the president would have to sit for a deposition. And based upon Clinton versus Jones, the Supreme Court case, the president would not be exempt from having to sit down for a deposition.
And that would be a pretty big deal, right?
Well, I think the entire world would love to finally get to the bottom of the true nature of their relationship.
But a deposition with a sitting president, has it ever happened before?
Yeah, with Bill Clinton.
I've only ever seen 2 deposition videos before. There's the Jeffrey Epstein one where they ask him if he has an egg-shaped penis. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
And then he walks out. Then have you seen the Lil Wayne deposition where he threatens the person interviewing him?
This would be bigger than the Lil Wayne deposition, I bet.
That's the most viewed deposition of all time.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
no, I've seen the deposition with Jeffrey Epstein, in which, again, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know the exact words that he used, but he was asked, were you ever in the presence of Donald Trump and underage women and minors? And he, after not having taken the fifth.
You guys can go back to our Tuesday video, the body language expert actually broke down pretty much everything Epstein did in this video. So if you're interested in understanding his movements at a higher level, go back and look at that video. Marky Mark says, I like your view. Great journalism, Mel. Thank you, Marky Mark. I appreciate your participation.
On several questions before and after that. He takes the fifth on that question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why do you think that might have been?
Look, I'm not an expert in any way on Jeffrey Epstein and the case and what is what.
And by the way, I put a poll in the chat. It's our first poll. Please participate. Do you guys even see it? I'm not aware. Not sure if you see it, but if you see it, do participate.
What's transpired. But I do know this. I know that Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of child sex trafficking, but sex trafficking of minors in particular. And Ghislaine Maxwell now, who's convicted of as being one of the and by the way, and participated in those rapes. Not just procuring women and girls. We have to remember this, girls, children for Jeffrey Epstein, but participating in that sexual abuse. And she is serving, I think, 20 to 25 years and was serving in a maximum security prison. And all of a sudden, Ghislaine Maxwell, which is almost unique, according to experts, has been in the history of the prison system, federal prison system, as a sex trafficker, has been moved to the maximum security prison, to a minimum security prison, I think, in which at some point prisoners have the right to be able to petition to be able to leave prison on during the day and check back in, kind of the way that Jeffrey Epstein served when he served his year and a half or whatever it was. He didn't spend the day in jail. He left. He got the ability to leave during the day. And
do you guys remember the show, the Andy Griffith Show? I know it was on the circuit years ago down south, but anyway, I think it still comes on TV. But remember, Otis would go to jail and check himself out at night and come back or whatever, or in at night, what have you. Well, that's the sweetheart deal that Jeffrey Epstein had, and people want to know, why did Epstein have such a great deal? That's what he's referring to.
I also know that people like Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino have made careers off of the Epstein case, in which they accused everyone under the sun, other than Donald Trump, and of being guilty of the same things.
Okay, Joe. Hunter Biden is making his case in regards to Melania Trump, but she's demanding that $1 billion. Let's have a few comments real quick. Three Awesome Dogs says, Hunter is ever first crackhead son. Okay. Cameron, thank you for your participation. Thanks for being here. Cameron says, you can tell he is like his dad, makes no sense, and babbling on, just babbling away, folks. How terrible. Three Awesome Dogs says, Hunter is not an expert in electricity, yet he made millions. I remember that. He took on a lot of heat for that. Good comment. Drabanaut says, afternoon, Mel. Afternoon back to you, Drabanaut. It's always nice to see you come through. Gammy says, Melania is guilty too. Okay, should they throw the book at her? Tell us what you think. We want to know. JDP says, good afternoon. Okay, shout out to you. JDP, it's always wonderful to have you as a moderator as well. Shannon Battle says, that's all you really get out of, okay. Michael says, listen to this guy mumbling and stumbling. Okay. So people are not happy with how Hunter Biden is speaking. Sarah Finna says Epstein is how Trump met Melania. That's the argument that Hunter Biden is making. And as we heard earlier, Melania Trump is not happy about it at all. She's demanding $1 billion for an apology. And guess what? What Hunter Biden says? He said, F that. That's what he said, folks. You heard it here.
Jeffrey Epstein was, because of their association or the fact that they flew on a plane with him, so forth and so on. one of the things that was their main focus in 2024 was that they were going to get into these governmental departments that had control over these quote unquote files and lists and all of the things, and they were going to release them. And all of a sudden, now they're not. And so again, what it comes back to is this: is that are we going to normalize this type of behavior in which we're just supposed to all look the other way? And that type of behavior, what I'm talking about is the rape of children. Are we going to normalize it to the degree that say, oh, well, Donald Trump was just interested in models, whatever that means, or that it was a crazy time during the late 90s, early 2000s, or whatever? I don't know. But that's ultimately the question that the American people are going to have to answer. And I guess MAGA is going to have to come to terms with whether or not they're going to allow Donald Trump to completely liquefy reality and say there's nothing to see here, move on. And by the way, there is not a chance in hell that there is a actual legitimate cause.
So we have a lot of MAGA members that come through. What do you guys think? Do you think that this whole thing about Donald Trump is going to go away in regards to Epstein? Tell us what you think. Toronto says, yes, the Epstein files, they're not letting it go. Ray says, so many people here talking in hearsay rather than facts. He wants the facts. Sarah Finabena says, Trump paid for Melania. Oh my, this is all allegedly, folks. And comments just from the crowd. Sarah Finabena says, mail order bride, anyone? Oh my. Deport Melania. That's what Toronto says. Shannon Battle says, Biden lost 300,000 kids. What in the world? What does that mean? Break it down for us. RAJ says, deport Melania. A lot of people want Melania gone. That's very concerning, quite concerning, I must say. EF says, hi, shout out to you, EF. Eddie James says they love Trump no matter what he does, In fact, Donald Trump says that he could go down to Times Square and do what? And nothing would happen. Those words came out of his mouth. Those are the words of the man. Central says Epstein is Mossad. Heard that on the Tucker Carlson show. I heard a lot about that. Sarah Finabena says, Trump, king of the stupid. I guess you mean Trump. Okay. Shannon Battle says 300,000 kids lost. Fact. Okay. Break it down. We don't quite understand. Ian is back. Thank you. We all know what Trump is. Tell us, what is he? We're not sure. Peter Bill says, just the truth. Sarah Finabena says, I want the list. People are not letting up. They want to see this list
of action as it relates to defamation for what I said and attributed it to Michael Wolff.
Keep the comments coming, folks. We want to hear what you have to say. I want everybody to have their expressions. Feel free to express yourself. No holding back, but just be, as the moderators say, be nice, be respectful. Don't use the words that I can't really say. You're setting me up for failure when I'm reading things, words that we shouldn't use, especially when it comes to minors. Let's be careful. Let's operate at a high level and all get along, folks. Why not?
But if they want to go through the process, they know that it's going to cost an enormous amount of money to do it. And so, that's the only thing that I got to figure out. We got to get we got to figure out how the hell we're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
But
how much do you think it would cost?
I don't know. I most likely in the in the high hundreds of thousands.
And by the way, we have 300 people in here. Please hit the like button so we can get more eyes on the channel, as well as share the video and subscribe if you'd like to hear about the news, and also come back and talk to other friends, make friends, and talk about what's happening in the world.
Dollars, if not millions of dollars, to be able to do
legal fees.
Because just think about it. If you're going to try to get the president of the United States for a deposition, and all of their known associates during the time that he met Melania Trump, you're talking about a long and arduous process to be able to do that, because they are experts at drawing this out, and this is what he always does. He sues everybody, and he sues them into oblivion, and he makes it so costly. But look, here's what I'm saying to the American people is, if you want to know the origin
The moment you feel like you don't have enough hours in a day should be a strong sign you need to find help ASAP. Too many moving pieces.
In the nature of the relationship between Donald Trump, Melania Trump, and which I have no personal knowledge of. I can only go by what has been reported. But if you want to know that nature, then let's all go figure it out together.
Of the connection to them.
I'll be the point of the tip of the spear for you.
Great. Well, yeah, I just wanted to, if you could just kind of start by telling us your name and what your connection is to Jeffrey Epstein, that'd be great.
I'm Michael Wolff, and I have done a series of interviews over a number of years with Jeffrey Epstein.
And when did you first come into contact with him?
So I've covered this individual here so many times on the channel, but he actually has written books about Donald Trump. He also met Epstein many times over the years. He knows him well. So it's going to be intriguing to hear what he has to say from his own experience, not just hearsay, but he's given his walk with Donald Trump and also with Epstein as well. All right, let's try to capture a few of these comments before they all get away from us. Pam Gator says, Obama judge denied the grand jury files. Hunter, your laptop shows you with underage girls. Trump told on Epstein in 2005, no victims claimed Trump was involved. Okay, thank you, Pam. Pam, we appreciate your comments and your activity. Brenda says, release the Epstein files, not the PDFs. Okay, release the files. Wadden says, the evil of the Dems took me too long to see. The shame of it will keep me from ever going back, even if MAGA is a myth. Okay, why do they say MAGA is a cult? You say it's a myth. Why do they say it's a cult? It seems that Epstein is now sitting at the center of this whole thing. Tell us why. Sarah Fendabina says they all should be in prison, every last one of them. Okay, Aaron says, I beg everyone not to let the list go. I'm a Trump fan, but I can't back a man who may have done these things. The truth sets you free. Now, that's shocking coming from a MAGA individual. Thank you. It's bold of you to actually make that statement and let us know how you feel. Pam Gator says, Joe and Hunter are PDFs. Thank you guys for using the word PDF instead of saying the other word. I see we're all getting on one accord, Pam Gator says, Joe and Hunter are PDFs. The emails and laptops the FBI covered up for the Clintons too. Okay. You know, Bill Clinton says he never went to the island, even though I showed you guys a video of Donald Trump saying that Bill Clinton had went to the island 28 times. Bill Clinton says no. Tina Board says Michael Wolff is the person who alleges Melania was Epstein's girl before Trump. Oh my, that would be terrible. Now that's the reason why. That's a good reason to hide the files, right? What do you guys think? Melania needs to sue Michael Wolff for defamation. Okay, definitely if it's not true. Sarah Fendabina says they are little girls, not young women. Okay, you see how they have a play on words. Thank you for that technician way of dealing with words, Sarah. Shout out to you for your intelligence. Jamie says, why would he have gone to the island? Yeah, why would he have gone? Somebody tell us. We want to know. Jake says, based. Okay. Mashona gives us a great reminder. The opinions and views expressed are that of the person expressing them and do not reflect the views of the host. Welcome in and thanks for joining. Joel says he stutters more than Sleepy Joe. Father and son like father. Oh my. Sarah Fendabina says, I wake up every day hoping to see Trump's name in the, oh, that's a little too deep for us to express. Jamie says, we all know what took place at that island. Oh my. It sounds rather shaky, right? Sounds shaky. But the question is, who went there? There is no solid proof that Donald Trump went to the island. And I don't even think they have anything solid on Bill Clinton. At least we're not at that point yet, folks. So we just have to follow the facts and not jump to conclusions. Let's get back to the video.
I had known him on a couple of instances. I was a writer for New York Magazine, with the lead writer, and Jeffrey Epstein was among a group of wealthy men who tried to buy New York Magazine in 2004. So I got to know Epstein then. But not long after that, his legal problems began, and he went to jail. And I didn't really get back in touch with him until about 2014, when he asked me to write about him, and we began to have a discussion about that. And and then I began, in fact, to write about Donald Trump, and Epstein became a source, a valuable source on Trump in the late 80s and 1990s when he and when Epstein and Trump were the closest of friends.
What was the basis of their friendship in the 90s?
Women and money, status, social climbing. And in so many ways, they were very similar people. They were outsiders to Manhattan where they lived. They wanted to be inside.
So he says women and money was at the root of this whole relationship. There's no proof of that, but that's what he's stating.
Outsiders. They both fancied themselves as playboys, and were deeply involved in the world of models. So if you recall, models were a key part of the 1980s, 1990s zeitgeist. Supermodels, runway models, catalog models, young girls who just wanted to be models. This was...
You know, they said Epstein had over 1,000 victims. And after you hear these type of stories, you can see how there was an influx of women involved. That's quite shocking. But maybe not. Shannon Battle says he placed these 300,000 illegal immigrant kids were placed in sponsors' homes without proper vetting and not following up with the sponsors who traffic or put them in child labor. What a terrible situation if it is true. So this is allegedly. Thank you, Shannon, for your history and reporting. Sarah Fendabena says, and Sarah, thanks for all your participation. I think it's great. Great. Sarah says, she is just a hooker. Oh my, that's terrible. John AKA says crack cocaine is a powerful drug. Okay. Definitely is. You sound like Rick James. Rick James said something similar, right? Sarah Fender says, I believe the drug addict. So you think he's a drug addict? Talking about Hunter Biden. Okay. Wadden says MAGA is a myth and Trump's BBB was a $5 trillion betrayal. And he was still the best candidate. Okay, Sarah says drug addicts can get clean. Narcissism is forever. You can't shake it. Okay. Rich Layman says real men don't attack women. Cowards attack women, go after the men. If President Trump was in these papers, they would have leaked it. Nothing there. Also, federal judge said no on releasing the documents. Well, that could have been a setup, though. I think they sent it to the judge knowing that it would be rejected, but you do make a solid point. Tina says Trump is in the files. You know who else said that and kind of kicked off this whole thing is none other than Elon Musk. Elon says Trump is the Epstein files, right? That's something to think about. D. Jordan says if Melania deserves Americans' respect, she wouldn't be naked all over Russian TV. Okay, all right. Let's ease up a little bit on Melania. I don't want any smoke from her, especially if she's throwing around $1 billion threats. My. Mike says the people who want the Epstein files released will never be satisfied. They're just striving after the win. Is that what you think? Jamie says, I regret voting for Trump. Wow. So we have an individual that voted for Trump and wants to pull the card back. Man, the world is changing. Out of all the things, listen, let me tell you guys, I went to Donald Trump's trial here in New York. Donald Trump walked right past me, and that's when I realized the guy's really tall. But anyway, all of these things happen. Who would think that Epstein would be that key that would cause so much contention for Donald Trump, right? I'll be doggone if that's not the thing of the century right now. Okay, Tina says Trump knew Epstein was ex-trafficking and never had a problem with it until a real estate deal gone bad. So, wow, that's a solid point. If that's true, then that's something to worry about. Mike says, how would you people figure out by now that all lie about Trump? So gullible. Okay, so most people are gullible if they believe anything negative about Donald Trump. Forever 44 says, when support and loyalty defies logic, it's a cult. Okay, so you think MAGA is a cult? Oh my.
The world that Epstein and Trump were very much involved in. Trump with his beauty pageants, Epstein with his connection to Victoria's Secret. This was their idea of status.
Can someone in the audience tell us what was Epstein's connection to Victoria's Secret? What was it? Tell us.
And sex.
Amazon is overcharging you, but I can show you how to avoid it. Don't spend another dime on Amazon.
And what was the process of scouting many of these models? Was it done domestically? Were they targeting people who were underage and kind of grooming them to become models when they turned 18? Or what was the typical process?
Yeah, I don't exactly know. I mean, but it was around model agents. So they both were involved in starting and backing model agencies and model representatives, and these models often came from Eastern Europe, but I think they came from anywhere. I'm not sure that they were that particular.
How did Melania Trump come to the United States?
Well, I think she as far as I know, she came on because she was a model, because that's where the.
So this guy is Donald Trump's biographer. He also did various books, written over Epstein's lifetime and whatnot. He met both men several times.
Where the business was. She was brought here by a modeling agency. This was not a big business. I mean, everybody tended to know each other, and if you had any hope of having a career, a significant career as a model, you needed to know all of these people.
So you made the claim that Melania was introduced to Donald Trump by Epstein.
Well, I said that she was introduced through that circle, is what I exactly said. And they all would have known each other, and obviously Epstein knew Trump. They all knew the same model representatives. They were all frequently working together in these various guises of these modeling agencies.
Epstein didn't make the direct introduction.
Guys, we have 600 people in the room. If you guys could hit the like button, share and subscribe if you like the latest news.
I don't know exactly what the direct introduction. I think that he was at that party.
And by the way, that's independent news.
Where they met. So, I mean, again, I think it's just very important to be clear about this, that this was a circle of people who knew each other. Everyone knew everyone. Epstein had known Melania. Melania then she knew the same agents that they were all working with. So that this was, again, I think circle is the right word. This was a social circle.
What specifically did Epstein tell you?
He told me volumes. So we would have to spend an enormous amount of time to do.
Wow, this is starting to get shaky, especially if this turns into a legal proceeding between Melania and Hunter Biden. We might find out a lot of information. Mike says, how would you people figured out by now that they all lie on Trump? Gullible. Okay, we covered that. M, welcome in. I think that you're a new name, new person here. Trump has all the photos on Epstein. Okay, thank you. Sarah says, it is a cult. Aaron says, my spider sense is telling me that he did this. Okay, are you referring to Donald Trump? Get a Real Job says, yes, Sue. Yes, Sue, so we can get discovery on the Epstein files. Thank you. That's a great point. Tina says Trump's plane was noted at being at the island 37 times. Not the Lolito plane, Trump's plane. Haven't heard that before. Okay. Would be good to have something to back up that claim. if you have it. James says, just because someone's name is in the files doesn't mean that they are a client. If Trump was a client, he deserves to be prosecuted. Okay, most people feel that way. A lot of people feel that way. Mike says the Democrats continue to stoop lower and lower, just more and more deplorable, right? Sarah says one thing doesn't have anything to do with the other. Okay. William, welcome in, William. William says no one wants to come out with it because it would bring down the world governments and collapse society. Let's be real. You think that many high-profile individuals were in the files? William, tell us all about it. Sharon says hello back to you, Sharon. I appreciate you continuously showing up and expressing yourself. Fix House 77 says okay. FRN 03 says our president is a PDF and y'all all cool with it because in your heart you are a PDF too, to continue to allow this crazy hide your kids. Okay, thank you for your comment. Okay, Bert says Hunter Biden needs to apologize to Mrs. Trump. Okay, Mrs. put some says Epstein recorded as saying he was Trump's best friend. I played that video several times.
That download, but
I guess in those conversations, are there any stories or anecdotes that stick out as particularly resonant when you're discussing the relationship between the two?
Again and again and again, everything sticks out because it's obviously Donald Trump, who's the president of the United States, and it's involves Jeffrey Epstein, one of the notable monsters of our time.
And as far as Epstein's role, do you think that he was some sort of, I guess, blackmail agent, or do you think that he was more just an elite person with, who's intent on victimizing young women?
Well, I know. I don't know anything about blackmail, if that occurred. Nothing I ever saw with Epstein indicated that would have gone on.
And where can somebody learn more about all this stuff if they want to hear more from you and dive a little bit deeper?
Well, funny you should ask. Behind me, I've just launched a new podcast.
So defamation is that you went on a Channel 5 video and you repeated a statement that another journalist said, and that journalist actually talked to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
So really, Jeffrey Epstein is liable.
Yeah. and conveniently, Jeffrey Epstein is not available for comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was not just sent to you; it was also sent to the Daily Beast and James Carville.
Their own, and I assume a few others that we haven't heard about. But yes, and it was so. My understanding is that it was sent to the Daily Beast. Daily Beast took down the article that reported on the podcast, the Daily Beast podcast that Michael Wolff had done.
Yeah.
But the Daily Beast did not take down the podcast. And so the podcast is still available. Whoever wants to go out and listen to it. The New York Times article from Annie Carney and Maggie Haberman from July of 2019 is still available online. You can look at it. The guy who wrote the book that was excerpted in Vanity Fair, you can still go look at it. There's a guy that I understand that is coming out with a book that makes even more connections between the two, that's coming out this week, and you can go read that book. And look, this has been so widely reported and talked about. It is not in any way, particularly when I'm attributing it to the source of which I heard it from, in any way remotely in the realm of defamation, and particularly defamation of a public person. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. But by the way, here's what's also insane: man-child Don Trump Jr., who was the
So we have 500 people here. Please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Just to give you guys that are just coming in some background, we're going through the video interview of Hunter Biden. Basically, Melania Trump is demanding $1 billion for him to apologize. And also, she has some other people mentioned in the action as well, which could lead to a big legal battle. So that's what we're going through right now.
Who was waving the flag for whoever doesn't, release the Epstein list is obviously guilty.
Kate says, this dude is still smoking crack. Okay. Virgil says, so we can't really say that. Let's be easy on the violence part, folks. I would love to read your comment, but I don't want to say anything against YouTube policies. Dobby Gillis says, Hunter has proof. It was in a book that nobody said wasn't true. Okay. K5 says, is Stallone in the Epstein files? Whilst would he shamefully support a criminal officially convicted? Okay, we can't really say those two words. Okay, go easy a little bit, guys, with the words. Let's say it in a creative way. C. Cherry says, why you think they got them looking crazy right now? I'm serious. Look it up. They was Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. Mark Johnson says, Hunter's a crackhead. Who cares? All right. Apparently some people do. In fact, he's trending the most right now in the media.
In the Biden administration, blah, 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 blah. Where are you now, Don? Donnie, where are you now? Where is your contempt for what is happening right now? Yeah. And it's just like, but look, it's like everything they do. Everything they do is either projection or confession. Mm-hmm. Everything. Yeah.
So what message at the end of the day do you think all this stuff sends?
Well, I don't know where this is going, because I don't know if he gets over this. When I say he gets over this, I don't know if the president is able to do exactly what I just said and like sweep all of this under the rug and distract people enough that these people that truly care about children are just going to say, okay, I guess so. And people like me are going to say, okay, I'll just stop talking about it because I'm afraid of you. But I do know this, okay? And this is what I talked to you about last time. Is with my when my brother was Attorney General, and he did the Dr. Bradley case. Yeah. Okay. There is an epidemic, if not a pandemic, in this country, and globally. Okay, in the way in which.
Did you know you could be entitled to a 5- or 6-figure payout if you suffered a serious injury at work, like a broken bone? Adults,
particularly adults that are family members.
Mm-hmm. Mike says it's amazing how a guy like Hunter Biden has the nerve to lecture anyone. Good point. Me, the GOP guardians are PDFs. Okay. Virgil says, and the stupidest. Raphael says he hit the Pookie before he participated in the interview. Dobie Gillis says Hunter should countersue. At the beginning of the video, I'm not sure if you were here, he made a point that he doesn't even really have to countersue to perhaps get Melania and also Donald Trump in a deposition to find out what really happened in the Epstein files. Thank you, K5, for the correction of Stalin. Thank you.
And figures of authority treat children, not just girls, but primarily, but in the majority of instances, girls, and I mean girls from 3 years old to 18 and beyond. And what this could do, in my opinion, is make it that much harder for any little girl that is being sexually abused or raped by her stepfather or her father or her brother or her pastor in whatever mega church that they go to, or whether it's the school teacher, or whether it's the leader of the Boy Scout troop or the Girl Scout troop. Okay, it's going to make it that much harder for them to come.
CRXR says maybe Biden should have raised his son better. None of Trump's children have criminal records. DeJoin Apple Tree. Okay. Mashona says, welcome in and thank you for joining. We want to hear from you. We just ask that you be respectful to each other and watch the language in the chat, respect the YouTube policies. And also, please keep in mind that the comments are each individual's comments, does not reflect what the host thinks, as we try to stay unbiased. Dolby Gillis says, dude is smarter than all the Trump family put together. Okay, so we have people on both sides of the arena with their opinion about this. Trey Morgan says, it's an epidemic in this country globally. It's so amazing that what crack does to someone. Okay. All right. Bo 55 Hog says, Melania must think of us Americans are dumb. She was at the parties. Hello. Who knows what else the lady did with Epstein? Okay. Dobie Gillis says, I wasn't here. Okay.
Forward and say, what about me? When the president of the United States and his administration has just taken the most prolific sex offender as it relates to the rape and molestation of children and said, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. That's what it does. And it's like all of this stuff of what they do is that they have basically allowed evil out from under the rock that it always hides. And you see it, not just as it relates to child rape, and not just because pedophilia, like this is like such this loaded word that's been used and overused, and people call people pedophile, like child rape, out and out, straight.
Okay, so we basically get the gist of what Hunter Biden is talking about in regards to trying to tie Melania Trump to the Epstein case in some way. You guys can go back and look at the video if you would like to see more of the details of what came out of his lips, which is his opinion. We're just having an unbiased look to see what's being covered in the media today. And Hunter Biden is leading the way, believe it or not. It appears to me, and I'm not trying to give my opinion, but Donald Trump seems to have turned his attention to go after people that have rubbed him the wrong way, such as Barack Obama, quite a few individuals, right? Adam Schiff, Letitia James here in New York, and the list goes on, and it's actually growing, right? But it looks like Hunter Biden is pushing back too, and we might, if he gets sued, we might see a deposition where individuals will have to answer those hard questions when it comes to Epstein. And every day we try to cover so many different subjects here. We're covering clips, but the constant thread that I see is show the Epstein files. Even people from MAGA, which we have a heavy MAGA presence in the audience, a lot of them sometimes say they want to see the Epstein files. And believe it or not, Elon Musk is the one that really opened this can of worms, right? Wasn't it him that said, let's press Donald Trump to find out why is he in the Epstein files? So it's something to think about. Now, I started off this conversation before we end today because in about 10 minutes, I know people have to get back to work or what they do for lunch. I get that. My brother's a truck driver, and there's a big dilemma in the United States with truck drivers allegedly going missing, right? And there's also videos everywhere of these incidents that people are having. I'm just showing you what's pressing and what's going viral right now. So we're going to take a look at this particular video, and I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that things are getting out of control, or do you think that this is just a one-off incident? I will be covering this. Today we were supposed to cover gay marriage, as that's a big topic that has arisen as well. But I wanted to cover this issue that came out with Melania and Hunter Biden. But also check out this video here. And please, even though it pulls at the strings, I would like for everybody to be respectful and just give an objective viewpoint on what's happening in this video.
Leave me alone. Let's goddamn go. Leave me alone. Get your fucking truck. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Get your fucking truck. Tell the cops. I'm leaving now. bitch. Let's go. Get the fucking trunk. Yeah. Don't get out of the trunk no more.
So let me give you a little bit of history on this. This guy, the African-American guy, they're telling him to get out of there, cursing him and whatever. He's a truck driver. He's down in North Carolina. So this is where this allegedly happens, in North Carolina. Let's see what's happening.
Don't get out of the truck no more. Take you out. Yes, the sheriff's department's coming to get rid of you and your fucking mud. Okay. So stay in your truck. Yes, sir. Before something bad happens. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get in. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do it now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm saying, shut your door, shut your mouth. You're the sheriff? You're the sheriff, right? Yes. And you weren't trying to talk to me. Can I'm done talking to you. Shut the door. Can I draw the window down? No, roll the other window down.
So it sounds like he said, "You're the sheriff," and the guy says, "Yes." So if this guy is the sheriff, why doesn't he have on some sort of badge? Or maybe I heard it wrong. We'll go back.
Hey, sir, you slammed the door on my door. And that's all on recording. I'm going to put you in jail. That's all on recording for slamming on the door. I didn't slam it on the door. Yes, you did. Have it on recording. Get in the door. Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all going to jail. Y'all going down. This town going down. Yeah, this town going down.
All right, so I'm just going to go back briefly here. I want to see what he said. Did he say this guy was the sheriff?
Y'all going down. Hey, sir, you slammed the door on my door. You're trying to talk to me. Can bad happen. Get fucking drunk. Get me out of the fucking phone. Let's go, bitch. Let's go. Get the fucking trunk. Yeah. Don't get out of the trunk no more. Don't get out of the trunk no more. Take you out. Yes. The sheriff's department's coming to get rid of you and your fucking mud. Okay. So stay in your truck. Yes, sir. Before something bad.
Apparently, he has a dog with him when he says freaking mutt, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do it now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm saying, shut your door, shut your mouth. You're the sheriff? You're the sheriff, right? Yes. And you weren't trying to talk to me.
He said, "You're the sheriff, right?" Is that what you guys are hearing too? Right? He says the sheriff is coming, but what did he just say to him at that point? Sounds like he's saying, "You're the sheriff," right?
Do it now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm saying, shut your door, shut your mouth. You're the sheriff? You're the sheriff, right? Yes. And you weren't trying to talk to me. I'm done talking to you. Shut the door. Can I draw the window down? No, roll the other window down. Hey, sir, you slammed the door on my door. And that's all on recording.
Oh, okay. He said you slammed the door on my dog. Okay. Wow. That's the dog screaming or whatever.
Can I draw the window down? No, roll the other window down. Hey, sir, you slammed the door on my door. And that's all.
Okay, so he says, "Hey, sir, you slammed the door on my dog." He's actually calling him sir. He's trying to be, legitimate here.
On recording. I'm going to put you in jail. That's on a recording for slamming on the door. I didn't slam it on the door. You did that? Yes, you did. Have it on recording. Get in the door. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all going to jail. Y'all going down.
So this video is going viral. Not sure. The problem is you don't get to see what happened prior to this incident. We'll have to try to figure out where's part one. I couldn't find it online.
This town going down. Yeah, this town going down.
So let me see what you guys have to say about it. Hopefully everybody's being cool about this, moderate. Raphael says the dog is the issue apparently. Oh, okay. Sherry says, "Oh, geez, this is awful." Bill says, "In this case, I think the white guys are wrong." Okay, Bill. Chad says, "What's even going on?" That's a good question. We don't have a history story on it. I do think the company apologized. I did see something of a sort. Traveling 2 says, "Why doesn't the trucker just drive away?" We're going to see that in a minute. I think there's something going on, or either they bulldoze his truck, but you'll get the chance to see. Daniel Price is back. Welcome back, Daniel. Have you seen the video of Donald Trump's peacekeepers in DC harassing a black guy just because he's sitting on his own porch smoking? Yes, we covered that 2 days ago. I showed that video here. Maybe I'll get a chance to show it again. Sherry says, "Good old boys are so brave in numbers." Okay. Raphael says, "What's the deal with the dog?" I think the dog was closing the door. Okay. CRXR says, I think he said the sheriff is coming. Yes, I believe so. James Canada says, what's going on here? We're watching a viral video that someone sent in regards to an incident that happened in North Carolina. Sherry says, what is the white guy's problem? Okay, Raphael says, seems to be an issue with the dog. Okay, let's get back to the video.
Man.
And by the way, guys, if you see viral videos or you see a video you'd like for me to present, feel free to send it to me at watchingtheworld777@gmail.com. So it's the same as the name of the channel, watchingtheworld777@gmail.com. Straight to the point. Thank you.
Hey, he gonna sue the shit out their ass. Hey, what's going on?
See, I couldn't make out. It looks like they're using the bulldozers to bulldoze the truck, but that wouldn't make sense. Like, what's going on?
This is crazy as fuck.
Or maybe the guy was stuck and they're trying to, I'm not sure.
Man, what happened? I'm done. I'm done. He's trying to lean over. You won't know about it. What's going on? What's going on? What's happening?
Eric says, what made that happen? That's what I'm trying to figure out too. I'll definitely have to research this further. This was sent to me today. Daniel Price says, what makes you think he won't go after the 13th Amendment too? Yes. And also people are saying he may have to go out. They may have to go after civil rights. And if that happens, we're going to be in trouble.
You driving that truck? Huh? Go get in your truck and be a good witness. No, I ain't driving that truck. I ain't driving that truck. Get in your vehicle. Now. You're leaving. You're gone. You're gone. Going where? You're going out. Who? You. For what? For videoing. For videoing, I'm going out. What are you talking about? They're closing. I'm done. Yeah. No, I'm done with this.
Okay, so I just want to see one part again.
You driving that truck? Huh? I'm done. I'm done. He's trying to lean over. You won't know about it. What's going on? What's going on? What's happening? You driving that truck? Huh? Go get in your truck and be a good witness. No, I ain't driving that truck. I ain't driving that truck. Get in your vehicle. Now.
Wow, those guys are very demanding. Okay, so we'll have to dig a little deeper to see what happened here, but this seems rather outrageous. But it's a lot of videos like this floating around, and we see why people cannot really come together and unite because there's so much hostility. Raphael says, dogs loose. Okay. Alcazar says, it looks like he's videoing on private property. Okay, that could be a good point. Daniel Price says, there was a documentary about how this former farmer, and the chat is moving so fast. This farmer had brought in migrant workers and they worked their butts off. Local workers, inmates, and other alternatives were tried and they were lazy and unproductive. Okay, thank you for that information. What was the name of the documentary? Okay, Raphael says they got machines to pick fields now. Okay, Faith Karma, welcome back. Nice to have you here every day. With how they were acting, then slamming the door on my dog, man was a lot calmer than I would have been. You would have really hit the roof if that's what you would have done. Timothy Travis says, if Trump supporters wanted all these immigrants gone, why aren't they filling positions, picking the fields? Okay, wow. Melissa says, I'm trying to keep it clean, but I really am having trouble. Okay, all right. Tell us what you think, but just be, no, don't be too aggressive with it, guys. Sherry says, I agree with Melissa. Okay, Melissa says, this enrages me, and I'm white. This is racist as F, and I can't do it. Okay, all right. Well, we're not watching it anymore. We saw it, but these are real things that are happening in the world today, and it's quite frankly, it's a shame what on both sides. What people are doing is outrageous, you know. But this right here, it looks really bad. It don't look good, folks. Raphael says conveniently part 1 is never available. I think that would tell that would give you a fuller picture of what really happened. So even though this is bad, we can't just take it at face value, because you have to see it's like someone cut the video down so you don't get the complete story. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, today we've covered grounds when it comes to Melania Trump perhaps going after Hunter Biden, because Hunter Biden is saying that Jeffrey Epstein and Melania were tied together, along with as to how Donald Trump met his wife. So she's coming after them for $1 billion, or Hunter Biden would have to apologize. And he said, F that. Yes, indeed. We saw it on the video. He is not apologizing. So this will probably escalate. It might be a good thing, because if she sues Hunter Biden, we might have a chance to see the deposition where the major questions are asked, because everybody every day, at least on this channel, everybody wants to know, where are the files, folks? Where are the files? Thank you guys for tuning in for our lunch break. We had quite a bit of information about what's really pressing in the media. Savannah says Hunter is an elite scumbag. Okay, I'm deplorable says, oh my God, the dog was running loose. Those guys overreacted, it seems. Okay, so you think it was about the dog? Maybe so. On a construction site, private property, perhaps. Okay. Savannah says, go Trump. Okay. Timothy Travis says, if you're choosing a side to vote for, you're choosing to be on a corporate slave. Okay, that's a good point. Daniel Price says, and those who think it can never happen in America want to bet? Okay, thank you. Darlene Anderson says, we all pay taxes as local control is a reality. Thank you, Darlene, for your participation. Savannah says Hunter is a scumbag. Okay, I read that before. James says, did those guys ever say anything racial to him? I don't recall hearing any word of the sort. I think it probably, they're saying the tone of being yelled at, saying, put your phone away now, get out of here. You know how it goes down. Phil Ponder says, no one knows the story here. I can tell you this. We are being misdirected. I think we need to see the entire video. I can agree with that. Alakazar says, it would be nice to know why they're yelling. This is hardly the first video that starts in the middle. We're going to try to track it down, but I did look for it and could not find it. So I think there's a reason for that. All right, it's 1 o'clock. Sorry for holding you past the hour. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really do appreciate the support. Thank you for all the likes. Thanks for each share, and for those that have subscribed, thank you very much. We will continue to bring you great information as far as what's trending in the news each day. We typically do this every day at noon, and then at night at 8 p.m. Usually, some nights we'll get deeper into a specific story, showing you the background information. I'm thinking about really getting into what's happening with the Supreme Court. I'm putting together a good production in regards to the individuals that Donald Trump has now turned the tables on. So you'll get a chance to see how each of these individuals are being sued or having major legal problems with the government. Adam Schiff has two big problems. They've gone after him for his mortgage, perhaps not being truthful on his application, allegedly. They also are trying to put him in the same bucket with Barack Obama and saying that he's guilty of treason because there was a Democratic person that worked for the government that had some problems. And now he's saying that Adam Schiff perhaps participated in treason. So that's a big problem. We have Letitia James here in New York City. We know she led the way when it came to his lawsuit where Donald Trump is on the hook for over $400 million, right? Still not resolved. Okay. And also we have Barack Obama. They're looking at him perhaps for treason. So all of these individuals, and I'm pretty sure Hunter Biden will be seeing a lot of smoke too because of his stance against Melania Trump. So we're going to look at each of these cases and see if there's some there. And also, we're going to continue to cover this Epstein case until we get the files, which I think we're waiting on a hope and a prayer. I do not think we're going to see those files. Here's the question, though. Will MAGA, because the Democrats are pretty much not leading the way, it's really MAGA that's trying to hold Donald Trump's feet to the fire. And it's because you have the major players like Alex Jones, allegedly, Tucker Carlson. These guys are really pushing back, saying, hey, we want to see what's in the Epstein files. And as each week goes on, they continue to want the files even more. So there's a lot to cover here, and we try to bring it to you every day at noon. Thank you guys who tune in. Thank you for the like, share, subscriptions, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see you again on Sunday. We have a show in store. We do it every week. This week, the show is going to change from Sunday. It's usually at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I have a criminal defense attorney on by the name of Calvin Johnson. We're going to change the time of that show now to, I believe it's going to be at 8 o'clock at night. So stay tuned for that. We'll get the legal perspective on various, on various subjects that we cover here. On Tuesday at noon, I have the body language expert coming back on. Her name is Blanca Cobb. She's excellent about reading body language, giving you a deeper sense of what's going on with the individual that's speaking. So a lot of good material coming. Stay tuned, and you guys enjoy your weekend. We will be back on throughout, and I will announce it ahead of time. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the moderators for all you do to make sure everybody is navigating quite well. Thank you so much. Kelly says, good for Hunter Biden. Okay, thanks again. Thanks to you, Fates, and thanks, Daniel. Daniel is consistently coming back as well. WB says his stance, you mean what Epstein said to himself. Okay, very good. You guys have a good day, and we'll be back soon.
Different voices, but the same song. Living a world where we all belong. Kindness leading the way, breaking the chains. In the symphony of love, the theme remains. Embracing diversity, brighter days in sight. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might. Watching the world sharing love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. The colors of harmony, painting the night. United we stand in love's pure might.